This is Atomic Shinobi, and today I'm going to narrate what if Naruto was corrupted by Seeker of Darkness. If you enjoy this video, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
Why is it that whenever I experience something positive, it is always taken away from me? Naruto pondered to himself. Naruto felt weak because he was alone in the forest, contemplating what he should do the next day. Naruto felt much weaker than he should have, and his heart was becoming less and less joyful. He felt that his strength had not been pushed beyond its usual bounds. What did Naruto have besides his shadow clone, while Sasuke and the other ninja were strong and tough due to their bloodline? Is there nothing that can strengthen him and make him more likable or respected by everyone? So he rested there in the forest by himself, sitting beneath a tree with no worries in the world, contemplating what he should do to gain more strength. Naruto sighed and growled, "Damn it, I need to get stronger, but how every time I train my strength doesn't grow." Then, a spooky voice came simultaneously from nowhere and everywhere. "Why do you seek more power when you are already powerful enough?" The boy looked around to see where the voice was coming from when it asked Naruto, but he was the only person in the forest. This world has been connected, tied to the darkness, soon to be completely eclipsed. "Who there? What are you talking about?" Naruto asked, continuously scanning his surroundings for anyone, but the voice persisted. "There is so much to learn. You understand so little." Since he was the only person in the forest, Naruto's voice echoed with the words, "What do you mean by that? If you're talking about I'm dumb, I'm not. I'll master every jutsu in history and I'll be Hokage and everyone will respect me like that should." A meaningless effort. "Damn it, I will learn. I just need to know how. All my life I lived alone with no one to care, no one to love, I have nothing," Naruto gasped. "One who knows nothing can understand nothing. I want to know something, so I can be something. If it's wisdom you seek I will help you. Who are you?" "Your heart." I can feel the light fading away. Naruto grasped his chest with his right arm, feeling the emptiness fill his heart, and said, "My light disappeared a long time ago. There is no light there, nothing in this heart, just nothing. Are you ready to learn? Teach me. There is very much to learn. Teach me, tell me anything, I want to learn. Your heart's true strength lies in its darkness. You can feel your rage, hatred, and anger locked inside that one location. Darkness is the true strength of the heart. Light is merely a tool designed to give darkness strength. All hearts are born from darkness." Naruto sighs, not sure if he should believe this voice. All worlds are born in darkness. There are so many worlds filled with so many hearts. This world of your heart is in the void of forever darkness. Kingdom Heart is the place all hearts are born, even yours. But isn't a heart full of happiness and optimism? Some people continue to cling to their dreams and hopes. However, what about your Naruto? What about your dream and hopes of becoming a Hokage? Wasn't that your dream, your hope, your light? Without that, darkness is the only path to your dreams. My heart, my light, I lost that light a long time ago, but I still have some. Has anyone in your village ever expressed genuine concern for you or told you that they love and respect you? No, like I said, there is very much to learn and you understand so little. Damn. Every heart eventually emerges from the darkness from which it originated. Darkness is the heart's true essence and power." Then, a strange symbol appeared on Naruto's chest as he removed his orange jacket and put on a black shirt. Naruto felt funny, his heart felt funny, he began to lose strength and will, and his body began acting on its own. A tiny black creator emerged from Naruto's chest in the shape of a tiny baby fox with yellow eyes and 9 tiny tails. Its face was similar to Naruto's, but it was also almost a fox. The symbol was a black heart with an X over it. What is that? The creator was created from all of your heartless hearts. However, you can still maintain your natural body, so yes, there is a lot to learn from me, boy. Who are you? I am Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. Next time. Farewell to Naruto. Now that the prologue is finished, it's time for the real beginning to begin. Yes, that little heartless is Kyuubi, which is Naruto's heartless appearance. You've already seen four-tailed Naruto, which does appear to be a huge heartless. At the moment, Kyuubi is still a baby rather than an adult, and he resembles the Shadow, the first heartless you encountered in Kingdom Hearts. The story takes place before Kingdom Hearts. Ansem came to Naruto before he went to Sora, and the more darkness empowers Naruto, the more powerful Kyuubi becomes, much like Ansem's enormous, heartless bodyguard. Some of Naruto's abilities will resemble those of Ansem, such as On Guardian, or Come Guardian. The heartless shield its master from danger. It sounds like he's saying On Guardian. Give in. Until the master calls it back, the heartless guardian attacks the enemy and manipulates them like a puppet. My strength return. The background darkens as the Heartless unexpectedly emerges from 5 or 6 holes in the ground. The owner regains his strength, and the user is shielded by a potent energy aura. Ansem's voice said, "I am Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. The one who pursues darkness." After considering a question to pose, Naruto said, "Yes. I am Darkness's Seeker. I notice that you're still learning about your callous power." "So I'm a callous person?" Naruto inquires. "Yes. Let me now demonstrate your amazing power." Then, out of nowhere, a man in a light-colored coat with a hood over his head materialized in front of Naruto and little heartless Kyuubi. As the two stared at the man, they were unable to see his face at all, but Naruto was able to see his golden yellow eyes, which could have been those of a cat or something. "Little one, you have a lot to learn. Let's start with the fundamentals, shall we? Your power of darkness is your heartlessness. This little one is nothing more than its shadow form. Imagine it as its newborn self. The more darkness you, the main body, the owner and master, give it, the more it will become. Like my heartless, this little one will grow up and become strong." Then, Ansem summoned a black heartless behind him. The heartless had claws, but its mouth appeared to have an X over it, and its eyes were white in contrast to the others. Seeing that this might be an adult heartless, Kyuubi stared at the enormous heartless for a while, as did Naruto. Naruto said, "Wow, he sure is a big heartless. Yes. You too will eventually gain this level of power, but this is my callousness and my power of darkness is greater than yours. Will you now assist me in introducing darkness into these forgotten worlds?" Given that the boy had turned into a heartless person like him, Ansem asked Naruto for assistance. "What's in it for me? Since darkness is the true power of the dark and it exists within all of us, you will bring darkness to many worlds. Consider this as a way to show everyone that you are strong and unflappable. There is darkness everywhere, both good and bad. Light cannot exist without darkness, and without darkness, there can be no shadow. But I don't want this world to disappear, not yet. There's something I must do. Leave this world for the time being and come back when you have more strength, but there is a place where you can establish your own kingdom. Darkness can be your new home in this world. Wait, may I bid everyone farewell? All right, you have a day. I'll be back soon, so make the most of your time. You belong to darkness. There is no light for you, never was, and never will be. Darkness is the true will power of the heart." Ansem fades into a portal created of darkness. Kyuubi turned to face Naruto. The tiny black fox grinned at the boy, jumped on his heart, and fell asleep. Sweating, Naruto laughed, thinking that if this was his last day as a human, he could be more content with himself. He decided to make the most of his time. Naruto concealed little Kyuubi inside his jacket so that he could return to the village in the mist. Team 7 was relieved when Naruto returned, only to discover that he had changed. Since he hadn't eaten anything since the morning, Naruto didn't eat dinner at all and didn't feel hungry at all. Instead, he simply went upstairs to his sleeping room and felt completely empty, not even a little sleepy or hungry. However, when Kyuubi was in close proximity to Naruto's chest, the boy felt completely competitive, but Naruto remained the same. He lay in his room, gazing up at the ceiling, contemplating what Ansem had mentioned. To make a new world out of my own darkness. What kind of world could I make out of my heart's darkness? As the little beast rested on Naruto's chest, Kyuubi let out a cute little yawn and Naruto spoke to himself as well. "I guess tomorrow, I will find out," the following day. When he heard Tsunami scream from below, Naruto's eyes snapped open, and he and Kyuubi looked around their room after being awakened by the loud noise. Even though he was only wearing white pajamas, Naruto wore his favorite black shirt to cover up his new tattoo, the heartless symbol, as he descended the stairs. "As long as my son is left alone, I'll do anything," she grabbed the two men. "Have you said anything?" After hearing one of the men laugh, Naruto cautiously descended the stairs and followed them to the kitchen, where he observed two men brandishing swords while keeping an eye on Tsunami, who was strapped to a cover. Tsunami said, "S. Stand away." Waraji grinned and said, "Hey, like hell, time to have some fun." "Yeah, you don't need to worry about that brat son of yours, he's all tied up." Zori chuckled. "This is terrible, what can I do? They have swords. Where the hell is everyone?" Naruto thought. This cold, dark feeling, I can feel it coming from Tsunami. Sama, I can feel lust coming from these guys. Then Kyuubi passed beneath Naruto as he approached Waraji and Zori. When the two saw Kyuubi staring at them, he yawned and a tiny black flame erupted from his mouth. Suddenly, two enormous black tails emerged from Kyuubi and stabbed the two swordsmen. When Kyuubi removed his tails, two hearts emerged from his body. He leapt to a great height and devoured each of the two hearts. which caused him to grow roughly twice as large as an average adult house cat in a matter of seconds. You grow up so quickly, little guy? As Kyuubi approaches Naruto and presses its size against his right leg, Naruto laughs and scratches behind Kyuubi's ears. Are you okay, Tsunami? Naruto asks the mother, who is single. They destroyed half of the house from the inside, threw a lot of things in the window, broke a few windows, and left Tsunami a little shaken, but Naruto and Kyuubi took care of that. Yes. I'm all right, Naruto-kun. What happened and what is it? She inquires about Kyuubi. I hope you're okay. Those guys didn't hurt you, did they? This is my friend. Naruto inquired about the single mother's well-being. Yes. I'll take care of Inari, Kakashi, and the other person went to the bridge. You have to go, Naruto. They might be in trouble. I'm all right now. Tsunami abruptly spoke. Naruto, wait. Naruto nodded. Yes? Then, as a reward for bringing a brave hero to save her, Tsunami kissed Naruto on the forehead and said, "Thank you." Naruto blushed in surprise as the elderly woman kissed him on the head like a mother would with her child. Naruto grinned and fled the house, with Kyuubi pursuing him from behind. The bridge. When Naruto arrived at the bridge, he missed a lot because Sakura was defending Tsunami's father, Sasuke was fighting Haku, and Kakashi was fighting Zabuza. However, as Naruto crossed the bridge, a voice said, "Time is almost up, you better hurry with your goodbyes." Stop. Everyone stopped when Naruto let out a loud roar. When Naruto asked, Why? What, Naruto? Kakashi asks, continuing to glare at Zabuza. Why are you two fighting? What justifies your animosity? Why do you wish to ruin someone who is attempting to assist your village? Naruto conversed with Zabuza. Because I'm a ninja, I'm a tool of war, every ninja knows that, and I'm getting paid at my job, Zabuza replied. Where your ninja pride, where is your hopes, your dreams, you have anything at all to live as a true ninja, as a human being, not a heartless beast. Naruto was now speaking out because he was easily irritated by something so trivial that Kakashi could tell by looking at Kyuubi, who appeared to be getting bigger because Naruto was upset about killing people because one wants to help his people. However, a fresh voice emerged from the fog across the bridge from Naruto. You seem really upset about people killing each other for their own gratification, which is pretty pathetic for a little brat. I could care less if Zabuza and his little girly boy child die over this. The voice said, money is everything to me, and money is business. Kakashi and Zabuza both said, Gato. When Haku and Sasuke notice that Gato has brought a sizable group of men with him, they both retreat and show up at their sensei's side. Gato, why are you here? I'm fighting, Zabuza stated. Yeah, about that, your time is up. Zabuza, if you're not going to kill that old man, then well, this is where you all will die. Of course I will have my fun with the ladies. Gato laughed. Zabuza growled as he prepared to confront Gato and his men, but Kakashi stopped him by telling the mist ninja to look behind him. Kyuubi had grown into a massive beast covered in black fur, drooling from his mouth, feeding off Naruto's rage and malice, filling his heart with the desire for everyone to make peace as a final gift before he left his world. Naruto's eyes gradually turn yellow and red as he opens his eyes and tears off his shirt to reveal his tattoo to the world. The heartless Kyuubi then transforms into a humanoid creator with a fox head and a human body on its two legs. Darkness, said Naruto. With a single snap of his finger, Kyuubi's growl and howl vanished, and in 10 seconds, he slashed and split Gato and his men in two, causing their hearts to float in midair. Kyuubi consumed all of their hearts, increasing his power, which was still only in its adolescent form and not yet fully developed. I killed him there, so I won't kill anyone else? As Kyuubi transforms back into the tiny, adorable version of itself and hides in Naruto's shadow, Naruto asks everyone. Zabuza said, Gato dead, I'm free to do whatever the hell I want. Haku grinned and removed her mask, revealing her face to Naruto. So it was you, Naruto grinned, and then a black aura started to emanate from his body, as though he were about to fade away. What's going on with your body, Naruto? Sakura inquired. It's okay. I'm better off this way. I'm not dying or anything. I'm just going back to darkness. I'll see you guys when I return. Kakashi. Sensei allowed Haku to join our group in my place. I know Haku is a nice person, so until then, goodbye to everyone. Naruto approached Haku and planted a kiss on her lips, causing her to flush. As Naruto fades into the darkness, he gives Haku one final smile and says, I always did like you, Haku. He laughs and adds, I knew it, you were a girl. He didn't want his world to fade into darkness until he had a good reason to do so. Naruto had left his world in order to survive and gain control over the power of darkness. All hearts are born in the dark abyss where Naruto floats, Kingdom Hearts. For his own purposes, Naruto destroyed and recreated this endless abyss, creating a large white and black castle in the process. 0. Naruto said, his eyes flying open as he screamed aloud as a very powerful shockwave erupted from both Naruto and Kyuubi, combining blue and red, black chakra together as this space and time was broken and sucked into another world. This was Naruto's new home in the depths of Kingdom Hearts, where he would live forever and hold his power. He would rule like a king. After flying into his enormous castle and waiting for Ansem to arrive in the main hall of this deserted castle for 3 more days, Naruto fell asleep in the main hall and regained his abilities, just like he had done for Kyuubi. Until he arrived at last. When Naruto opened his eyes, he saw Ansem in his true form, without a coat, standing there with his heartless face. A well-fitted castle for one of darkness within the heart of darkness. In which world should I try to bring back the darkness? Naruto queries Ansem. Your first task will be to find a world where there are pure and uncured people, even in death. I want you to discover 2 unique hearts. The Princess of Hearts and the one without a heart. In the world gate I open, which will be unlike anything you have ever seen before. After you enter this portal, I'll grant you a new power. Ansem opens the portal. What happens if I am unable to bring this world into the dark? Don't worry, there are plenty of other worlds. Even you should find this task easy, but if you are having trouble, call forth the darkness within you. My boy, go bring them darkness. The cold-hearted should take care of the others. Yes. Ansem. Sensei. Naruto entered the dark portal, and as Ansem closed it, he vanished from this castle all too quickly. When Naruto woke up, he was inside some huge walls and on the streets of a town. He noticed that his clothes had changed, and he was dressed in black. He looked down at his shadow and saw that Kyuubi was hiding there. Okay, let's finish this task. I want to see what else I have in my castle. What's this feeling? I sense that someone is deeply sad, and their heart is slowly sinking. This is my first heart, and it's time for me to get it back. Naruto smiles, knowing that nothing or no one can stop him now that he has the power of darkness, but there are strong people in this world with strong hearts. It seems like it's coming from that very tall building, so this should be easy. Whoever stands in my own heart is mine. However, Naruto has turned into a heartless person who puts others before himself in combat. Naruto spends some time exploring the Soul Society to see what it has to offer. He notices that nearly everyone dressed in black was armed with a different kind of sword. Knowing that he would not join their ranks, Naruto tried his hardest to avoid being discovered. Naruto used the shadow as cover because he was a heartless person who could hide in shadows or any kind of darkness. Naruto headed toward the big white tower, where he could smell the strange flow of people and his heartless. Kyuubi kept telling him to go there as soon as possible. When Naruto arrived at the large white tower that Kyuubi had instructed him to go to, he used the power of darkness to creep inside in the shadows without the guards noticing or feeling him at all. On the highest floor of the tower, Naruto saw the most beautiful and adorable girl he had ever seen in his life. She was dressed in a white robe and had a red collar around her neck. Her body was small like a young girl's, but her head was large, which made her unique. Her hair and face were both stunning, and she had a small bust, but that didn't stop Naruto from seeing her. In order to keep the lovely woman company, Naruto hid in the tower's shadows and called upon his young companions. Out of the woman's shadow emerges a shadow, a tiny, adorable miniature heartless that is a true representation of a child's heartlessness. The woman's attention was drawn to Kyuubi, who was once again beside Shadow in its infantile, heartless form, smiling and waving his tiny black tails. Kyuubi's bright yellow eyes gave her a harmless glance. How did the two of you get here? She asked the two heartless as both Shadow and Kyuubi kept staring at her being cute and harmless as ever. She grabbed Shadow, pulled Shadow close to her, rubbing her face on his face. Oh, he's so soft and warm. Kyuubi made a little purr sound as he rubbed his face against the woman's left leg. Aren't they lovely creators? The woman released Shadow as Kyuubi and Shadow vanished in Naruto's shadow, and Naruto spoke as he emerged from the shadows behind her. Who are you? How did you get past the guards? The woman gasped. As Naruto's outfit changed to a black coat with orange lines down the side and a large black heart with red lines across his chest like a X, the woman began to back away. Naruto stared at her from head to toe, thinking for a moment, good God, she's hot. He then got on one knee and bowed to her. My name is Naruto and I am here to set you free, my lady, said Naruto. Who sent you? Set me free. Did he send you to save me for him? No, whoever you're talking about did not send me, she said, her voice full of rage as her gaze remained fixed on Naruto. What's my lady name? I'm here just for you, Naruto inquired. Why should I introduce myself to someone I've just met? As Naruto walked around her grinning, she said, fine then, no name, I'll give you one big head. Naruto laughed. She crossed her arms over her chest. I have a small head. Oh, it's true. My lady does have a big head to make her look more beautiful as the full moon night, she said, holding her own head while Naruto laughed. Naruto gazed into her crystal, clear blue eyes. The woman blushed slightly because she was unable to look at Naruto without staring at Rukia. What? For a brief moment, Naruto was perplexed. My name is Rukia. Naruto grinned and said, what a cute name, Rukia-chan. What were those things, and why are you here? Rukia questioned Naruto. Well, I'll tell you then because you asked so politely. Naruto tells Rukia, my friends are called Heartless. What does that mean? Glade, you ask my lady, Naruto said, grinning. Those who lack heart are born from the darkness that exists inside of you. No matter how pure a heart is, it always has a dark side. Like darkness, darkness is an important aspect of the heart. So why have you come here? Rukia inquired once more. That's simple. My goal is to locate both the keyhole and the world's princess of the heart. Because I am a creature of the dark. Don't worry, I won't hurt your world or anyone else. I just want to see how this world is. Naruto told Rukia, my sensei has ordered me here. I now realize that you are the world's princess of the heart. My work will be easier and more enjoyable as a result. Why do you think I'm a princess of the heart? Rukia glared at Naruto as she spoke. Oh, I see. The princess of heart, according to what the heartless tell me, there's only one way I can ensure that it's silver or any other color other than white. Naruto turned to smile at Rukia. W. What? Rukia became frightened. Naruto put his right hand on Rukia's chest and said, hold still, princess. Rukia passed out and her vision turned black in a matter of seconds, and Naruto chuckled, believing he had achieved his goal. So her heart looks like this. Naruto smiled seeing how her heart looked like as Naruto thought of taking her heart, but first. He had to find the keyhole, then he can take Rukia heart. Naruto put back Rukia heart back inside her body as he said, that woman heart sure is strange. I've never seen a person's heart look like that in my life. However, Naruto laughed and melted into the floor, fusing himself with Rukia's shadow. There, he would watch her until he found the keyhole to this world, wherever that hole might be. But then again, my heart was strange to a ramen color heart. Somewhere in the world that was never outside the castle walls, Axel had just returned to the world of nobodies when he saw Marluxia grinning at the fire nobody. What's making you smile? Axel uttered. Oh, nothing, Axel. I'm just curious as to which world you visited, Marluxia inquired. What else, the world your little girl was born, Pinky? Axel chuckled, and to pick up the new guy as leader ordered. I'm just following orders today. Axel breathes deeply. Have you observed her in her current state? Axel was asked by Marluxia, how is the new guy doing? You're the father, you should be the one who knows. Axel laughed. And the new guy, the first, just sent him off to meet the others. Regarding being a father, Marluxia remarked, very funny, Axel. Are you still under the impression that your young daughter would despise you because she was unaware that her father was a nobody? Axel said, chuckling a little. Yeah, I suppose you're right, Axel. Of course I am Pinky. I don't have pink hair. Marluxia developed a vein on his head. It's light red. It looks pink to me, and beside I have red hair, real red hair. Axel laughs, Pinky. It's light red, pink, light red, pink. Light red, pink. A pale red, pink. Very red. Your daughter's pink hair is proof enough, Marluxia, Axel chuckled. As Axel prevailed in the verbal duel, Marluxia growled at the red-headed stranger, damn you, Axel. Following their brief argument about Marluxia's hair color, Axel and Marluxia returned to the world that never existed. From there, a new journey begins for both Naruto and Rukia. What will happen next, and of course, who or what is Naruto's nobody and what is his or her name? The number of days until Rukia's execution was postponed eventually decreased. As Rukia slept in her shadow, Naruto Uzumaki, the Seeker of Darkness, fed on her darkness and felt the darkness inside her heart grow stronger and stronger, filled with sadness and fear. In the days leading up to Rukia's execution, Naruto waited in her shadow in the deepest recesses of her heart, watching over and over the day that transformed Rukia's life. Naruto was at the center of the darkness in her heart. She killed her, Kaien Shiba, the lieutenant of Squad 13, to save a friend who most trusted her. Watching this caused the darkness in Rukia's heart to grow larger and stronger, as well as a memory. A very special memory of one night with Ichigo Kurosaki, a boy who was strong. Willed but brave and had a good heart like Naruto. Memories of leaving the living world. Memories of those who became her friends. Memories of those who provided Rukia with a home and a normal life as a living human being that was her family. Now, her friends have come to her aid, something that only a true friend would do for a friend. Naruto grinned as he left Rukia's heart. Having seen enough, he made the decision to help Rukia's friends save her. As a result, Naruto gained two things. First, Rukia's heart, and second, enjoyment for the first time in a very long time. Kingdom Hearts. Returning to his castle in the dark, Naruto sat on his throne with Kyuubi by his side, watching from the living world to Rukia's world in the Soul Society. Naruto was furious that Rukia's older brother would not even try to save his younger sister. He was deeply troubled by something. Byakuya Kuchiki, Rukia's older brother, appeared callous toward Rukia and her friends, despite the fact that family was meant to support one another at all costs. Then Ansem emerged from the shadows in front of Naruto, observing what the boy was focusing on. "You're troubled by this world?" Ansem grinned as he spoke. "Yes. I have selected my queen, but I must make her callous in order to obtain her. Although her darkness is sufficient to transform her into one, her light is also more powerful." With a bored expression on his face, Naruto said, "I just need to give one little push and she's all mine." Ansem then burst out laughing, asking, "What's so funny, Ansem? This world has truly already descended into darkness, and it is heartless in love. But in order to turn this world around in the depths of darkness, you must locate the keyhole," Ansem grinned. "After that, what will become of the world's population?" Naruto questioned Ansem. "Everyone will go back to the abyss and reincarnate as Heartless." Ansem grinned and remarked, "Some say that Heartless are trying to rebuild something very special in the kingdom of Heartless." "That's what it would be?" Naruto inquired. Ansem laughed and said, "A home that was destroyed by the light long ago." "Are you implying that those who lack compassion look for Kingdom Hearts in order to return home?" "All worlds are born in darkness and also end," Ansem said simply, nodding his head. "You do realize that the heart is different." "I understand. How do you feel about Rukia?" Naruto questioned Ansem. "She's really lovely. When she turns into a heartless person, her beauty will increase even further. She will no longer be weak once her true power is revealed. Rukia's eyes will open with the power of darkness, your darkness. She'll discover the truth." The young, callous prince and his pet were left to consider their next course of action as Ansem laughed and disappeared into the darkness. "She will find a new destiny with you." "A new destiny, I like the sound of that," Naruto said, smiling as his eyes changed from a crimson to a clear blue. "Don't worry, my little bunny, your big head," Naruto said, laughing. "Everything will be all right, my queen." Naruto began to laugh, and his laughter turned into a fit of mania. The dream of Rukia. Rukia was strolling along a lengthy pathway that led to an endless hallway full of doors. She tried each door individually, but each time she opened it, nothing was there. "Where am I?" she questioned herself. A voice said, "Your heart. Try everything you want. It is a challenging task to find the path to the light. You have no idea how deep in the shadows your heart is." "Who are you?" Rukia opened door after door, but she was unable to escape. "Little one, don't be scared of the dark. The darkness will intensify in proportion to your level of fear. Don't be scared of the dark. Turn into it. Integrate yourself into who you are. Become a part of the shadows." "No, get out of my head. No, not once more." The memories. Rukia's memories of her past began to resurface in her mind. The memories that had plagued her throughout her life continued to resurface, becoming more and more intense. The hope that had filled Rukia's heart had vanished, and the darkness had eaten away at her light. Rukia screamed in terror as everything around her turned to darkness. She would soon turn callous, but they would be interrupted by footsteps. Rukia stopped crying and turned to face the source of the footsteps. Suddenly, she turned to see Naruto standing behind her, grinning at her as he gave her an option. "Come with me or stay in the dark." Rukia took Naruto's left hand and embraced him while sobbing on his left shoulder. "Don't worry, Rukia. Like me, you have experienced a great deal. I understand what it's like to have that darkness inside your heart, that guilt. It will not go away no matter what you do. Awaken, Rukia," Naruto whispered in Rukia's left ear. The Soul Society. On the day of Rukia's execution, nearly every captain was present at Sokyoku Hill, where Rukia asked Captain Yamamoto if they would allow her friends to escape the Soul Society alive after her execution. Rukia had no regrets, nothing to feel guilty about in her lifetime, and Yamamoto assured her that he would fulfill her last wish, despite the fact that he had lied to her to reassure her before she passed away. "Do you have any regrets?" Rukia heard a dark voice in her head. She replied to the voice, "No, I don't, you accept darkness." "Yes, I am content with who and what I am. I don't regret anything, I'm happy my friends came to give it their all. I will always cherish the amazing moments I shared with you guys, Orihime, Uryu, Chad, and Ichigo." Rukia started crying. Rukia felt an overwhelming pain in her chest, and her tears fell to the ground as the last of her hope, her dreams, her goals, and her light broke. The darkness inside Rukia's heart devoured every last bit of light. When the Sokyoku transformed into a phoenix, the bird flew in Rukia's direction and began to burn her until nothing remained. Rukia screamed in pain as the phoenix flames burned her flesh, and a callous symbol appeared on her forehead. When Sokyoku finished, everyone was shocked to see a dark shield that resembled a giant dark egg floating in the air. Rukia's eyes widened from their black color to their lavender color, and her hair grew longer as darkness formed around her like a shield. The dark egg cracked, revealing a freshly reborn Rukia floating in midair. She appeared older, standing about 5 feet 7 inches and dressed in a ripped version of her execution gown. Rukia raised her right hand in the air, and a bolt of black lightning struck it. Everyone was shocked by Rukia's abrupt transformation. She no longer resembled the Rukia they knew. The bolt of black lightning took the shape of a long, enormous, double-edged scythe that she could easily wield with one hand. With a chilly expression in her eyes, Rukia uttered the words, "Black Thunder." Huge amounts of black lightning descended from the sky, destroying the Sokyoku and everything in its path. Emerging from Rukia's shadow was Naruto, dressed in a new outfit that resembled Ruku's darkness form from Kingdom Hearts, complete with a black steel katana sword and a Konoha keychain at the handle. He wore a black and red bodysuit and a silver helmet that concealed his face from view. "King," Rukia exclaimed as she turned to face Naruto, who was standing behind her. "Rise, Queen," Naruto answered. "What have you done and who are you?" Yamamoto conversed with Naruto. Putting his right hand around Rukia's left side and holding her close to him, Naruto told Yamamoto, "This world has been connected, tied to the darkness, soon to be completely eclipsed." "Rukia?" There was a voice. Rukia turned to see Ichigo, one of her closest friends, and Renji in the distance. Ichigo was shocked to see that Rukia had changed, and he wondered who the man in red was. Was it too late for Ichigo to save Rukia? Rukia vanished in an instant. She hurried to Ichigo and grabbed him by the hair, saying, "Go. Leave. Rukia, let go of my hair. To save you, we came here." Ichigo told Rukia, "We're not going anywhere without you." Rukia grabbed Renji's hair as well and pulled the boys along with her. As Yamamoto instructed Soul Reapers to pursue Rukia and deal with this new foe, Rukia ran off somewhere. Naruto chuckled and said, "You cannot defeat me." Captain Shunsui remarked, "Well, aren't you full of surprises?" "Indeed." Captain Jashiro replied. As he said, "I'm not your true enemy." Naruto melted into the earth. "The real adversary lurks among you." Captain Jashiro, "I was just doing those two a favor, right?" Shunsui, Captain. Rukia. Chan has no right to pass away in this manner. Goodbye to all of you. We'll get together once more. As Shunsui swiftly grabbed Jashiro and fled down the cliff away from the enraged Captain Yamamoto, Yamamoto turned to face the two captains. Alongside Rukia. Rukia was in Squad 7 headquarters Soul Society. Rukia paused and let go of Renji's and Ichigo's hair. "Rukia, you didn't need to drag us this far." "Damn you," Renji stated. "What happened to you, Rukia?" Ichigo gazed at her and remarked, "You look older." "I'm better," she said detachedly. "Who was that guy, Rukia? Have you been harmed by him?" Ichigo remarked. Rukia simply closed her eyes and said, "I lost my light." "Your illumination? What are you talking about, Rukia?" Renji asked. "That guy saved me after I lost my light." With sorrow in her voice, Rukia said, "I can keep my body, but I can no longer live as a member of the Soul Society or in the world of the living." "You always have a place with us, Rukia," Ichigo informed her. "That's why Uryu, Orihime, Chad, and I came here to save you." Rukia grinned and said, "I know, I want to say this, thank you, Ichigo." Ichigo frowned. "Rukia. Inform my brother that I don't despise him." Rukia glanced at her own hands and said, "Ichigo, don't worry about me. Please tell him it's not his fault I became this. We'll get together once more." "What did that guy do to you, Rukia?" Ichigo remarked. Rukia looked into Ichigo's eyes and saw only sadness and guilt. "He saved me," Rukia said. "Now, Ichigo, keep in mind that you are a part of my light. You will always be able to see me through the shadows as long as you maintain that light." Rukia said, "Let's go." "Where?" Renji inquired. Where King is? Rukia called forth her scythe and used it as a shortcut to return to Naruto's previous location by slashing the air open into a rip. Byakuya Kuchiki launched a surprise attack on Ichigo, sweeping the Soul Society in their fight. After Rukia struck the ground twice with her scythe, a small, heartless shadow emerged from the ground, but this one was distinct from the others because it had big, soft bunny ears and sat in Rukia's lap. Rukia cruelly stroked her. What's that? Renji questioned Rukia. As Renji started to perspire, Rukia remarked, a heartless, I call this bunny. You still have a thing for rabbits even after you've changed. What changed you, Rukia? Why did you give up your light? Renji inquired. I was lost in my own gloom. I was unable to escape. I was stuck. Every time I opened a dark door, his face appeared. The night it happened, I saw Kaion's face. Rukia scowled even more, and Renji sensed the gloomy aura surrounding her brighten. Rukia, is this callousness the result of your fear of the past? Renji scowled. Rukia turned to face her old friend and said, I couldn't handle the pain. It hurt so bad. After that, Naruto discovered me and saved me. This Naruto guy, whoever he is, did not save you, Rukia. He transformed you into that by taking advantage of your darkness. Renji gestured to the shadow of the bunny. I was weak, Renji, and I don't really care. I was by myself. I felt afraid. He helped me, Naruto. He opened both my heart and my eyes. I surrendered to the gloom. I'm not afraid of it anymore. Actually, I have no fears. Is there something lacking despite the pain and fear of death? Rukia. I can still feel it in my chest right now. I still sense it. Feel my heart, Rukia uttered. Your light will always shine, Rukia, no matter what happens. I'm certain it won't. Rukia, you're strong. Rukia grinned and said, thank you, Renji. Then, as Rukia's heartlessness vanished, she gasped in agony. Sosuke Aizen, the Squad 5 captain, was standing behind Rukia when he reached into her back with his right hand, removed a silver jewel, and left Rukia's body where it had fallen. Aizen grinned evilly and said, thank you, Rukia. You bastard, Aizen. Renji used his sword to attack, but Aizen quickly defeated him. No ever saw this coming at all, Jin remarked, grinning foxy. Hey Rukia. A wounded Ichigo approached Aizen from behind and tried to cut him with his sword, but Jin dispatched him with ease and without even drawing his weapon. Aizen, Jin, and Tosen fled the Soul Society while half of its members came to aid Ichigo and the others. They informed everyone that he would transform into a new god and use the power of the Hollows and the Hogyoku to destroy the Soul Society. After everything that had happened today, Ichigo and his friends were no longer the enemy. Instead, the real enemy was Aizen, the former Squad 5 captain. After today's event, everyone was healed. Orihime was healing Ichigo, but Rukia's body remained where she had fallen, untouched by anyone. Naruto emerged for his queen from Rukia's shadows, grabbing Rukia and holding her in his arms. Naruto turned to Ichigo and told him in his head, don't worry, you will see her again, she is safe with me. Ichigo told Naruto in his mind, protect her or you'll be sorry. Don't worry, I won't allow them to touch Rukia. After saying that, Naruto vanished into a black mist. Kingdom Hearts. After placing Rukia on an enormous bed, Naruto gave the Heartless instructions to locate some new hearts in order to heal Rukia's wound. The Heartless followed their king's instructions and found hearts that would heal their queen. With a displeased expression on his face, Naruto sat back on his throne and said, I need strong hearts, but who has a strong heart in this world aside from that Ichigo Kurosaki? I wonder if there are heartless people in this world. After Rukia's rebirth, 3 months later, when the few soldiers' hearts arrived with the hearts and used them to treat Rukia's wounds after realizing their queen had recovered, the soldiers marched down the hallway to the throne room, where Naruto was, and Rukia awoke. When Rukia entered the throne room, she saw Naruto with his eyes closed and his head resting on his right hand. Rukia could feel Naruto's power all around the castle, and in front of her, a big portal that served as a doorway had been torn open. Go, find strong heart, Naruto mumbled while he slept. As Rukia left the bedroom, Naruto slowly opened his eyes, revealing Kyuubi's eyes. Rukia approached Naruto, took him in her arms, and put him in the same room. The throne room. Rukia gazed at the portal leading to a different world. Now that she was a Heartless, Rukia could sense a strong heart somewhere in this world. Lady Dark, what's stopping you? There was a voice. Ansem emerged from the earth, accompanied by his Heartless guardian. Who are you? Rukia inquired. I am the one who pursues darkness. My name is Ansem. I was the one who assisted Naruto in making you callous. Had it not been for me, Naruto would never have discovered you, his heartless love, Ansem informed Rukia. Love? Rukia inquired. Yes. Despite his heartlessness, Naruto still has a heart. Before you were cold-hearted, and even now, Rukia, he loved you. You were selected to be his queen. Naruto is a fantastic dark artist. Indeed. All worlds will return to darkness with his assistance, Ansem chuckled. Rukia glared at Ansem's golden eyes and said, if you decide to double-cross Naruto-sama, I will kill you. Rukia, don't worry. Ansem pointed to the portal and said, you can sense it too, don't you? The children of darkness are also my friends. A powerful heart. Whether or not those creatures you refer to as hollows have hearts is unknown to me. A heartless person can be anyone. Darkness will always exist as long as there is light. How would you like me to handle this? Rukia remarked, I only obey Naruto-sama. Naruto will be pleased. You do want him happy, don't you, Rukia? You would bring him a strong, heartless person. Ansem laughed. Ansem grinned. Rukia replied, yes. Go, Lady Darkness. As Rukia stepped through the portal and it closed behind her, Ansem said, you cannot lose when darkness is on your side. Where is Rukia? Naruto said this as he walked into his throne room. Your queen is having a heart attack. Don't worry. As long as Rukia brings out the darkness within, she will be unstoppable, Ansem told Naruto, adding that she has strong allies who will support her. All right. The castle shook as Naruto sat on his throne and said, Void Key. 01. So, Ansem, is there anyone that will stop me and Rukia? If Rukia-chan is having fun, there's no need for me to ruin it. Well, I really detest one particular witch. Naruto watched the man as Ansem scowled and said, she thinks she can rule all of the darkness. Ansem then floated in the air, floating around the throne room. So even those that seek darkness have enemies that want the darkness for other goal. Naruto laughed. Rukia and I elsewhere. In Hueco Mundo, Black Thunder, Rukia said as she surveyed the vast white desert. Her scythe materialized in her right hand, and she blew a tiny breeze, causing the air to turn chilly and lifeless. Rukia aimed her scythe at the desert, and a group of heartless soldiers emerged from the air, bowing down to her. The soldiers nodded and fled to locate the strong that Naruto was searching for. When Rukia saw from a distance that her heartless were pursuing something or someone, she waited until they could tell her. The soldiers were pursuing a young girl with green hair and her odd-looking companions. The soldiers vanished as Rukia snapped her fingers. Ouches, Rukia said, rubbing her face after the green-haired girl collided with her. Who are you, lady? The young child questioned Rukia. Rukia patted the young girl's head and lowered herself to her level, saying, I feel like this little one has a small heart, but no, she's too young. My name is Rukia. Rukia told the young girl, a little girl like you shouldn't be alone in a place like this. Nell-chan is not alone, though, we're hers, said one of her pals. Who are you? Rukia inquired. Nalil II Oderschwank, the young child, said, I'm Nalil, but call me Nell, and these are my adoptive brothers, Dondochaka Bilston, Peshi Guadiche, and their pet Bawabawa. Rukia. Naruto's voice addressed his queen mentally. Yes, king? Rukia inquired. Bring Nell along with her pals. I am aware of the location of your world's keyhole and that you do not want Nalil or her friends to suffer any harm. My love, I see it in your heart. Yes, king. Rukia turned to face Nell and her companions. Join me. You guys can go to my place. Nell leapt with delight when Rukia smiled kindly and said, I have free candy. Candy. Nell gave Rukia a leg hug. Kingdom Hearts. Where is Ansem? Rukia questioned Naruto. Naruto informed his queen, to play another role with a boy that is very special. A small group of shadows held a huge bowl of candy for Nell to eat, so Naruto snapped his finger and teleported in front of Nell and her friends. Nell leapt high into the air, drove into the enormous bowl of candy, and swam around it, devouring the candy. Nell is a newest member of the group, so you boys don't try to steal her heart, Rukia said, patting the small heartless head as he stared at Nell and turned to face Rukia. With a nod, the shadow vanished into the earth and became Rukia's shadow. So, what plans does Ansem have? Rukia questioned Naruto. Nell is a rare hollow, and Naruto clarified, I really don't know, nor do I care. But he said he wanted Nell to play a good role. Nell is the most compassionate person in the world you came from. Nell should accompany a boy named Sora on his quest to locate his friends, according to Ansem. Rukia remarked, he doesn't have my permission to use her. No, he doesn't. We are all heading there. I think Nell is the princess of Hollow Heart as you are the princess of Heart of this world. 2 princesses, 2 keyholes. Naruto clarified. The keyhole to your world is hidden within Nell Chan's world. So the Soul Society might be the location of the second keyhole? Rukia remarked. Or perhaps Ichigo Kurisaki's human world, but it's too soon to turn that world into a dark place. For now, at least, don't worry. Naruto sighed and put his head on his left hand, saying, I have unfinished business back at home. Pardon me, but what should we do? Pesci asked. I have very good plans for you as well, Naruto said, grinning at Nell's friends. Nell will be assisted by you. So, who are we? A few agents? Dondochaka questioned Naruto. An evil smile flashed across Naruto's face as he had an epiphany. Yes, you are my super secret agents. No one must understand, right? While Nell and her Fracione cheered with delight at the thought, Rukia giggled. Nell found the idea very appealing. I have some additional assistants. That will also be beneficial, Naruto grinned. For example, who? Rukia inquired. I was considering making a heartless hollow like Nell. Return to Nell Chan's world, Rukia, and locate that unique hollow. Do whatever it takes, Naruto commanded, and Rukia comprehended her king's instructions. Kill anyone who dares to get in your way. My queen, have no mercy on them. Yes, Naruto. Sama. Rukia's eyes glowed brightly as the surrounding darkness deepened and brightened. Hueco Mundo. Rukia, Naruto's beautiful, deadly, dark angel of darkness, felt that a new flow of power was coursing through the world. This power would be sufficient for her and Naruto, who had walked the white desert barefooted and alone. She was older than her king, but she followed him without question because she was accepted by a boy who gave her a new purpose in life by taking away her pain and replacing it with love. Even though she was heartless, she sensed Naruto's warmth in her chest, which gave Rukia even more motivation to capture a strong hollow and turn it into a heartless who would serve as her king's dark servant. Rukia dashed into the Azure Desert. The background music is Night of Fate by Kingdom Hearts. When Rukia sensed something approaching, the ground shook and the sand began to live as itself. The Sand King of Hueco Mundo was a giant creature made of sand that stood in her way. He declared, none shall pass. Rukia glared at the Sand King and said, no one will stand in my way and live. Die. He claimed that he struck the ground with his right fist, but he missed Rukia, who was sprinting toward his head on his arm. Rukia leapt high into the air, turned around, and used her scythe to cut off his head. As the Sand King's body melted into the earth, Rukia advanced, but her fight was far from over, for the Sand King rose up from the earth and roared angrily at her. The music from Kingdom Heart 1 Boss has been replaced with Shrouding Dark Cloud. You cannot defeat me because I am the Sand King. Rukia grinned briefly before frowning once more, her hands glowing dark purple, indicating her heartlessness but also her status as a soul reaper. If you're made of sand, then you're weak against water and lighting, right? Sand King swore and snarled, before that occurs, I'll kill you. Dark water, she said, summoning water from the sky that turned the Sand King into mud and slowed his pace. Black lighting. As she stabbed the ground with her scythe, Rukia's scythe glowed light blue. A strong burst of lightning energy emerged from her scythe, striking the Sand King where he stood. Rukia watched as the sand rained down on her, causing him to burst into pieces. She shook the sand from her gorgeous hair and continued on her quest to locate the hollow who would serve as Naruto's servant. The music stops. Rukia stopped abruptly when she heard a noise as though something or someone had appeared behind her. She turned around and saw nothing, but then she heard a sword being drawn, and her hands tightened around her scythe. The voice to her right said, Foolish, you have come here alone. Rukia leapt high into the air to avoid being sliced in half by the hollow assassin who was sent to track her down and kill her. The assassin was strange looking and depressing, with green eyes that were filled with nothingness. He was dressed in white and had a broken helmet on his head. Lord Aizen does not need foolish trash running about, he replied. Rukia remained silent and prepared to face the unidentified hollow that stood in her path. If you want your life to end with whatever purpose you have within yourself, then I will take your life as soon as possible, he said to Rukia, while the callous queen simply replied, shut up and fight me. The background music was The Deep End, Boss. As their gazes locked, the strange hollow creature glared at Rukia and said, very well then, I shall dispose of the trash I see before me. The man aimed his right index finger at Rukia, flashing green as though calling forth something, and said, goodbye. A beam of green light shot from his index finger. Rukia's scythe glowed dark purple as she swung it 3 times, shooting 3 large fang-sized energy fangs from it. The hollow being used his left hand to smack them away from him, blocking Rukia's attack. Rukia simply sidestepped to her left as the green beam missed her by 3 inches. Rukia was calm and unconcerned, as evidenced by the cold look in her eyes. He informed her, "Your tricks won't work on me. Why are you smiling?" Rukia grinned. As the man noticed that his left hand was bleeding, he asked her. The male hollow thought, "I must be careful, this being power may feel weak, but she can do great damage." Rukia charged at him with full force, and he used his sword to block her scythe. Rukia then disappeared from view and reappeared to kick him in the back of the head with her feet. He said, "Enough games. I told you shut up and fight me." Rukia's voice was dark, and her eyes were filled with death eyes, hollow eyes that only remember the stare of death. Rukia backed up a little and tossed her scythe into the air, causing it to disappear. She then ran towards the man who was unarmed, and when he swung his sword at her, Rukia blocked it with her right foot and leapt off it. Her scythe returned to her as she launched an unidentified attack, causing the scythe's head to fall off as she threw it at the hollow. When the scythe's headpiece struck the ground, the blade exploded, glowing purple. She had never felt such strength before, thanks to the power of darkness. He said, "Your powers are truly gifted." Rukia's attack had torn and partially burned his clothing, and he was on one knee, bleeding from his right shoulder. "But I cannot allow you to win trash." Rukia's voice said, "Your heart shall be mine. My name is Espada number 4 Ulquiorra Schiffer, and I am a hollow person with no heart." He told Rukia, "I don't have a heart. Only weak humans have hearts." The Queen of Darkness didn't care if he had a heart or not, her hands alone would defeat him. Ulquiorra felt something happening to Rukia because she was silent for a long time and didn't move at all. Suddenly, a burst of energy appeared out of nowhere, and a dark aura surrounded her. Her beautiful, cold eyes turned completely black, and then she was gone. Ulquiorra turned to look around, but he didn't see her at all. Did she leave this world? It's possible that he thought he turned around and said something as he returned home to tell his leader Aizen Sosuke, but she wasn't gone at all. Instead, Rukia's energy was concealed by darkness, making it impossible for him to sense her power. When she reappeared, he ran in Ulquiorra's direction. Rukia swung her scythe, making her own Sero, and he was prepared to fight her again. Ulquiorra blocked her Sero and forced it off him, thinking, "What the heck can she create her own Sero? This can't be." He looked around and saw that Rukia had vanished once more, but this time he remained vigilant. Rukia's voice said, "You've lost." Stab. This is where the music stopped. Ulquiorra noticed that Rukia's right hand was in his chest, holding his hollow, pumping green blood heart, and he felt his blood escape from his mouth. "You have a heart after all," she said. As Ulquiorra collapsed to the ground, he coughed up blood and gazed at Rukia. "Are you able to destroy my heart and kill me?" he questioned Rukia. "I want to give you some of my power instead of destroying." Rukia's left hand glowed purple as she gave him a piece of her new powers, turning Ulquiorra into a heartless person. Ulquiorra felt pain inside his body, a burning heat trap inside his being, and her eyes returned to their normal heartless ones. Then Ulquiorra was enveloped in darkness, the same darkness that engulfed Naruto and Rukia, the darkness that was the home of the heartless. Ulquiorra was instantly changed into a heartless by the dark clouds that encircled him. Rukia was a tall, hollow figure with black horns when the clouds were gone, and his body resembled that of a devil. Despite having changed into his true form, there was no indication that he was callous. "Almost had me there, trash. Good thing I have shown my true power." Ulquiorra felt something was off, but then a black, green heart emerged from his chest and floated over to Rukia, who took it into the shadows and ate it. Ulquiorra was acting strange, and he began to turn to ashes. With a glare, he said to Rukia, "It seems you've defeated me before I can show you my true power." As Ulquiorra accepted his defeat, she said, "And so you shall be reborn in darkness. Goodbye, Ulquiorra." Rukia, the Queen of Darkness, had consumed Ulquiorra's heart, and he had vanished into nothingness until his rebirth. Opening a portal back to Kingdom Hearts, Rukia turned away. In other places, Aizen witnessed Ulquiorra's defeat at the hands of heartless Rukia. My Ulquiorra lost the fight," he said. "Rukia has definitely grown stronger with her new power." One of his Espada wanted to take care of her alone, but Aizen had other ideas, so he called her Hannibal. The third Espada bowed her head to him and said, "Yes, Lord Aizen." "Bring Rukia to me." "Yes, my lord." She disappeared in an instant. Returning to Rukia, when Rukia grabbed her scythe, Hannibal grabbed her right behind her. Rukia's eyes widened in shock, thinking she was going to be taken to Aizen, but she glared at Hannibal. The Dark Queen returned to the Portal of Darkness, taking the Shark Empress with her, and went home with her king waiting for her. Kingdom Hearts. The two fell to the ground in the hallway leading to the throne room, and Rukia and Hannibal glared at each other as they prepared to use their blades to kill each other. Hannibal appeared somewhat distressed because she was trapped in her enemy's home field and could not leave this realm. Rukia said to Hannibal, "Your powers may be hollow as nothing but my darkness is doubles here." Behind her, Naruto's voice said, "Rukia, that's enough, you've won, she has nowhere else to go." Rukia's scythe disappeared from her grasp. "Who are you?" Hannibal inquired of Naruto. "I am Naruto Uzumaki," Naruto said, laughing as he gazed at the attractive woman with brown, voluptuous skin. "Greetings from my heartless home, Kingdom Hearts. From all those dark departments," he exclaimed with joy. "Are all hearts, including yours, hollow at birth?" He grinned. She said, "Hollows don't have hearts. You are alive and breathe, whether that is true or not. Yes, you see what is right and wrong. You have a heart, and everything has a heart. Darkness cannot exist without light, and light cannot cast shadows without darkness. What are you looking for from me?" Hannibal remained vigilant and prepared to take down the two. "All I'm after is your heart. Compared to the person who gave you this strength, I can give you more power." As Hannibal saw the truth in Naruto's callous eyes, he said, "I can give you so much more." As the Shark Empress was deep in thought, Rukia said to Hannibal, "If you wish not to suffer the same fate as your fallen friend did, then take his offer." Hannibal was in the top third rank of Aizen's army, despite Aizen having previously told her this in front of her and the others. "If you wish not to suffer the same fate as your fallen friend did, then take his offer. Don't have faith in me. Your power was granted by me, and I will use your confidence as my army of hollows." Naruto approached her and told her to make up her mind, saying, "I can see the weakness in your heart." Did he really care about his espada? She wasn't sure what to do. "That weakness is something I can use to my advantage. Do you not want to be yourself once more? I can make a hollow feel whole." She didn't hesitate to betray Aizen because of the silence, but he told her, "It'll be easy to be strong, but you're not strong enough to accept darkness. You are a no-body creature created from nothingness, but I can transform you into someone who joins us and we can return your heart." He said, "If you want to be human again, I'll make sure you are. My name is Hannibal." As she unzipped her jacket and revealed her hollow mask to Naruto and Rukia, Hannibal knelt down and said, "Yes, Naruto Sama. Hollows were nobodies, a missing piece of their former selves." As Hannibal was consumed by black flames, Naruto waved his right hand once more, removing the flames and revealing her true beauty. Her white outfit was now black, her jade-green eyes were now golden, and her hollow mask was gone. As he and Rukia gained an espada, Naruto said, "Welcome to Kingdom Hearts." Unbeknownst to Naruto, he had also aided the side of nobodies by adding a new member. "Nobody in the world." Zigbar informed Xemnas, the head of the nobodies, "We have newcomers, boss." "This time, how many do we have?" Xemnas inquired. "3. Said Zigbar. Xemnas laughed and remarked, "They will be good members to replace any fallen nobodies." Zigbar smiles and laughs, "They look strong like the other one who came before them." Xemnas grinned and said, "Good, the stronger the better we have at our goal." Next time. A heartless person's love Ulquiorra was vanquished by Rukia, so I couldn't kill him off like that. He's cool, but he's a little too quiet and more of a solitary person. Hannibal is on the side of darkness, and the nobodies have added 3 new nobodies to their team. You understand what that means, don't you? In any case, I'm going to have Nell meet up with Sora and the others in the upcoming chapter so that you can watch them and get to know them well. It's time to vote again. The Lemon vote Dark Rukia and Naruto x Rukia, Lemon, Heartless. Or Rukia x Hannibal x Naruto. Is it Naruto who bangs his queen or his servant? Additionally, Naruto will return home a heartless person. Vote for 2 ninjas as well, such as Rock Lee, Gaara, Dosu, Kakashi, or one of the Akatsuki Itachi or Kisame, during the Chunin exams. You cast your vote, and that's it for now, everyone, later. The Omake moment. So, Hannibal, how's life in your homeworld? As the two were sipping green tea and the little shadow Heartless were their servants, Dark Rukia questioned Heartless Hannibal. Hannibal thanked the little shadow, saying, "Well, it's pretty much not what you think it is. There is nothing to do in this empty world, and even though Aizen gave me this body, I still have nothing to do. No consuming food, sleeping, or engaging in sexual activity with the male hollows?" Rukia inquired. Hannibal blushes and her eyes enlarge. "Well, about that." Rukia surmised, "Let me guess, none of them are good in bed." "No, not that I've never have sex with anyone before anyone," she responded. "Male or female?" she continued. "Why not Hannibal, your lovely one?" Rukia encouraged her new friend, saying, "Your breasts are bigger than Orihime and Rangaku. Try having sex with someone like me who wears a hollow mask that almost completely hides my face and breasts." As dark Rukia started to perspire, Hannibal added, "Trust me, the first thing they want is a blowjob or get eat out." At that point, all she could say was, "Tough." A tiny blue emo cloud appeared above Hannibal's head as she perspired. "You have no idea," she shook her head. "In a world known as Traveler Town. Where did Kairi and Riku go, too? This is going to be more difficult than I anticipated," the young boy sighed as he set out to locate his two closest friends. Fortunately, Sora had two new friends who would support him in his search for Riku and Kairi. "Don't worry, Sora. You'll find your friends, right, Donald?" Goofy said. Donald Duck nodded to Goofy and said, "Yeah, Sora, but right now we need to get out of here." Sora grinned and nodded, saying, "All right then, come on guys, let's get going." Unaware that little hollow Nell and her brothers were pursuing Sora and them, the three approached through a gated gate. "Nell, is that our target?" One of them uttered those words. Nell said, "Rukia." Sama said, "Boy with spiky head." Then she had a quick, brilliant idea. "Oh, Nell knows perfect idea to get spiky hair." Nell grinned, her face showing a dumbfounded expression because Sora was their primary target. In Kingdom Hearts, somewhere, Rukia could see her king was deep in contemplation as he stood outside his white castle, floating in midair and gazing at nothing but the blackness of this space. Rukia said her lover's name, King, to which Naruto responded, "What's bothering you?" As Naruto remained silent for a long time, she asked, "Rukia, do you hate me for what I have done to you?" She was surprised by what he said. "You were unable to accept the light of hope because I turned you into a heartless person. Forever and ever, darkness is your home." Rukia gazed into Naruto's unloved, heartless eyes as he turned to smile at his lover. "If you do, then I understand if you hate me for doing this." Rukia clarified why she didn't hate Naruto by saying, "I don't hate you, Naruto. In fact, I am grateful you turned me into a heartless, you gave me new strength, and although I cannot explain it, by becoming a heartless you took my pain away, you took my painful sin that was eating my heart." "Rukia, the first time laid my eyes on you," Naruto said, his words full of truth. "I was only able to perceive beauty in its purest form. From there, I made the decision to turn you into a heartless person because your heart was my first." "What are you trying to say, Naruto?" the Dark Princess inquired. As he told her, "I love you, Rukia." "Stupid," she replied. "How can you love me when I was in love with you to begin with?" "I want to create a world where those who are turned away by the light are welcome," Naruto said, holding Rukia together with his hands while grinning. "People like us are welcome in the kingdom of darkness. Rukia, my queen, I beg you. Will you accompany me on this quest? The darkness in many people's hearts will consume many worlds. I know it's cruel, but light cannot shine so brightly without darkness." Whether or not she was still Rukia, a soul reaper and death god who shielded people from harm and evil, such as hollowness and the desire to devour everyone, his words struck a chord with her heartless heart. However, does this mean that she is also evil for granting her beloved's wish? As the callous ninja read her words with ease, she told him, "But many people will suffer and many hearts will be lost. I don't want to eat everything, Rukia. I was weak and had lost my light years ago, so darkness filled my heart. I think I can be of assistance to those who are in the dark. Yes, my heartless are my friends." Naruto grinned. "A darkness of light, I will become a king of the heartless, a voice to the heartless. They follow the one who is powerful and has strong ideas. You, Rukia, will be my queen of darkness when I ascend to the throne of the heartless." He was listening intently when she said, "Promise me one thing." "Yes, Rukia." Naruto wrapped his hands around Rukia's hip, kissed her on the lips, and said, "As my queen wishes, so shall it be done." She was referring to her friends and family when she said, "I don't want them to be in this." Rukia grinned and said, "Thank you, Naruto," to her beloved, who grinned back. She told him, "I want a family." He was completely unaffected by the news. A child born from heartless lovers? Rukia doubted that the child would have a heart. He laughs and releases his grip on Rukia as he walks down the white hallway with her by his side. "I say it will be the first of our race, my love." "Where are you heading, Naruto?" "I mentioned to you that I wanted to bring some new people from my home country." He said, "I want to make some heartless." Rukia recalled this and responded, "I shall come with you." "My dear, you won't need that. I sent Hannibal already," he said. "Oh." Rukia stopped in her tracks and laughed. "What's amusing?" Naruto questioned his beloved. Naruto grinned as she told him, "I just got news from Nell, she found the chosen one. That good news, tell Nell Chan for now, just follow them and if not befriend them as well," she said. Nell. Chan is aware that this will occur. Right, Rukia says, reaching out to Nell's mind to advise her on what to do. The room of the throne. I see that you took a hollow heart and turned it into a heartless one. As the Dark Seeker appeared to confront the callous youngster, Ansem addressed Naruto, saying, "Your power of darkness has sure grown indeed, child. Why have you come here?" Naruto questioned him. Ansem laughs and says, "I have news that can help you." Have you discovered the key to Rukia's world, though? No, I haven't. It will require some time. Apart from her world, what news do you have? Naruto questioned Ansem. As Naruto's left eye twitched abruptly, he said, "I have found the keyhole to your world. It lies in the heart of your world." I see very well, then I will handle that myself. I sensed a sudden shift in power in Rukia's world. As you wish, child. Ansem gave Naruto some wise counsel, but the young boy responded, "The only thing in Rukia's world that I will change is its problem." A strong change indeed. If I were you, I would take it while its doors are open. If another dark force gets in the way, darkness cannot prevail. Yes, if you want to locate its keyhole, you must deal with that darkness. I'm not sure who stands in your way, Naruto, but I genuinely feel bad for them. Ansem chuckled, understanding that Naruto's darkness intensifies with each heart he takes, and that the more hearts he takes, the more powerful he will become. Naruto was aware that Rukia was listening in on their conversation, but he didn't mind his queen doing so. Naruto said to the Dark Seeker, "So Ansem, I have a question for you." "What do you want to know?" Ansem inquired. After a brief silence, Naruto speaks, carefully selecting his words. "What was the real reason you made me a heartless person?" "All I did was turn you into a heartless person, but your strong heart is the reason you are strong and able to keep your true body," Ansem said, closing his eyes and pausing to smile. "I have a strong, dark heart just like you do. And I've seen the best in you. Who knows, you might be even more powerful than I am. However, I was aware of the darkness before you were even born, and you are still young. The heartless need a leader, surely one will know his defeat," Ansem said, gazing at Naruto. "And always make plans because I am aware that I may or may not be defeated in the near future. The reason I'm telling you this is because your darkness and Rukia's darkness only partially match my own darkness. Only those with strong, dark hearts possess the willpower to subdue darkness. Only those who possess darkness are able to do so. As the same with light, only light can defeat darkness," said Naruto. "And nothing else can defeat light. Only darkness can. Darkness and light never go away. This boy Sora is light, and you, Naruto, are darkness. Destiny's chosen ones are their picks. But the day will come when you and I will fight, and I hope that when it is, I will be able to see how well your darkness has developed. Tell me, then, what is preventing you from fighting me right now?" As the Seeker of Darkness gazed at Naruto, Ansem grinned and said, "My boy, I plan on making good uses of you. I don't want to end your new life too quickly. Since you are young, you are unaware of the actual strength of evil." As he disappeared into the darkness, Ansem laughed and said, "You are very special to me, Naruto. Don't waste your new life." His voice reverberated throughout the throne room as Naruto sighed and then said, "He's more of a nut every time we speak. And I have, and you are not ready to take me on, boy. Let's leave it at that." "Didn't that give you a hint, Seeker of Darkness?" As she walked into the throne room, Rukia said, "I guess you're right, Rukia." Naruto laughed. "I'm still learning this, but he can defeat us with ease." "I know," she replied, "I may be a heartless, but I am able to use my death god's powers." Naruto uttered Rukia's new title, Sexy, Rukia, Heartless Death God. As she approached Naruto, Rukia grinned and said, "I like it." "So, Rukia, what are your thoughts on Hannibal?" he inquired. Rukia thought for a moment. She is quiet and shy. However, I think we can trust her because you did make her callous. I didn't believe a hollow person could become callous. In fact, I didn't think hollow people had hearts. Hannibal's voice could be heard. Hollows do have hearts. It wasn't until she emerged from behind Naruto's throne chair that the two saw her. "How much time did you spend here?" Rukia inquired. Hannibal knelt down to Naruto and said, "Long enough to hear that man speaking with Naruto." "Sama. Rise, my servant of darkness tells me, did you find anyone of my world that can give off such darkness?" Hannibal said. Naruto inquired. "Yes," she replied, "there are selections of 3 males. He said, "Go on. One is a young boy with short red hair. The second is a boy with unusual eyes and raven black hair. And the third male I have found so far is incredibly lazy." Hannibal described the 3 men as being cold-hearted. "The red-haired one is new to me, but I am familiar with the other 2. Thus, Sasuke and Shikamaru are both males who are selected to be heartless. I knew Sasuke would be one, but not Shikamaru. Naruto rubs his forehead and says, very well then Hannibal, I will give you a mission, turn the redhead into a heartless. When you do that bring him here to me, but right now rest, you must be tried from your journey. I guess darkness has a different class than hate and loneliest. As Hannibal bowed her head, she said, no, I am fine, Naruto. Sama. I will complete this mission. Naruto stepped down from his throne and said, I say rest, that's an order. He informed Hannibal, you will do that mission tomorrow. She's a strange one, but she is a very good servant, Hannibal said as Naruto's sweat dropped. Yes, Naruto forgot my rudeness. Rukia Hannibal asked a good question. Hannibal, tell me if you have any friends or servants of your own. Yes. In response to Rukia's inquiry, how many? Rukia inquired. Hannibal stated, there are 3 of them. What are their names? This time, Naruto inquired. They are Sun, Apache, and Mila. Rose. Hannibal described the 3 beautiful members of her team. Are they powerful? Naruto inquired. Yes, Hannibal said as she stood up and met Naruto's eyes. Those are my girls, Hannibal said in a cool, kind voice. They're strong, but they get carried away and respect me. They are strong, of course. Do they possess strong darkness? Naruto uttered those words. Hannibal clarifies, I am not sure each espada has a form of death they rule over. How about yours? Hannibal nodded in response to Rukia's question before saying, mine's is sacrifice. Before leaving his throne room, Naruto was silent when he heard the word sacrifice and said, I see. King. Rukia uttered Naruto's title. Naruto continued to make his way down the hallway to his room. That is, his bedroom. Have I offended Naruto? Sama? Rukia shook her head in response to Hannibal's question. No, you didn't, Hannibal, but to be honest, I never did inquire as to how Naruto became so callous. Rukia bit her lower lip and said to Hannibal, I became a heartless by Naruto. You're a death god, but you accepted darkness? Rukia told a bewildered Hannibal, my past sin consumed my heart and I gave it, but in the darkness I found light in Naruto. Hannibal had a brilliant idea, and Rukia agreed. Let's ask Naruto. Sama how he became this way. In another realm, elsewhere. Dive into the heart, King Heart's music 1. The former 4th Espada Ulquiorra cipher of Aizen's army stood there in his second true form in a cold, dark place with no light to shine at the brightest high, a place where beings of darkness are welcome. The last thing he would remember was being defeated by Rukia, but he had no idea how she would become so strong so quickly. He had heard that she was merely a low-level death god. He thought to himself, this place must be where she gained her new power. Ulquiorra was then interrupted by a voice that said, you must be the other one. Ulquiorra listened to the voice without responding. You had a heart, but your eyes are so empty. But you don't care that you were defeated, you don't care why you are here, and you don't care what I have to offer, am I correct? The voice said to Ulquiorra. Fill with darkness, yes, deep darkness, nothing but despair and emptiness. Ah, truly a heartless you are. Ulquiorra addressed the voice, saying, you are correct whoever you are. It is important to remember that not everyone with a dark heart turns heartless. However, because of your strength, you may be able to maintain your body like the other 3 before you. Does that girl have 2 more? Ulquiorra inquired. Yes, and there will be more very soon. Do you think Aizen is concerned about reviving you after your defeat? Here, you can become a heartless person like no other, the voice claimed to have told him. You look great in darkness, and I'll give you more of it. You are a black devil now, but you will become a black devil with the power of darkness and the power of the heartless. I don't want anything from you, whoever you are, Ulquiorra interrupted the voice. My only concern is why I am here and for what purpose. I don't require your authority. Very well then, but before I go, I will ask you one simple question, the voice said with a laugh. What is it? Ulquiorra inquired. Is this the authority you're after? Speaking those words, the voice grew hollow. Ulquiorra's floor was no longer covered in darkness. Instead, a large image of 4 people appeared on it. Ulquiorra, who appeared to be sleeping in the sky, Rukia and a small boy, and Hannibal, who was frowning and staring up at the sky. What is this? Ulquiorra inquired. The ground shook slightly and another rumble was heard. 3 objects were present, a sword, a shield, and spears or lanterns. Is this the power you seek? Make thoughtful decisions because they will determine your destiny. Ulquiorra pondered, so one of these things will revive me, but which one? The music stops. The Chamber of Naruto. Theme for Kingdom Hearts 2, Organization 13. Alright, Naruto, your next step is to find more hearts for Kingdom Heart. But what other world there is to consume? Naruto held his right hand as his keyblade of his world appeared in his right hand. Do Rukia really forgive me for what I did to her? I can see pain in her eyes. The room was large, with a large bed and white walls, but the bed was a mixture of black and red. Rukia called out his name, Naruto, as the young king looked up to see Hannibal and Rukia at the foot of his enormous bed. What is it? He inquired. I know Ansem turned you into a heartless person, but what was the reason behind it? Rukia said. Naruto sighed. He didn't really want to discuss it, but there was no other option, and he didn't want to upset them by not responding. Before he spoke, Naruto put his right hand to his face and said, I give up my heart to become something. I was nothing in my world, and I was despised for no apparent reason. They looked at me with hatred when I was a little child. I didn't have a childhood because I had to grow up quickly. I was told as a child that the world isn't pleasant, full of flowers, or anything like that. Despite being treated like a monster, I keep trying to show them that I am the greatest. As a child, I wanted death to come and take the pain of living like this, feared by people for no reason, he said, but he wasn't finished there. When I was younger, I was unaware that this was the reason I never had friends. I never had a dad or a mom. I've always given in the dark, but when I met Ansem, I ran away. Normally, I became heartless to be free, and I did okay. I had some friends, but they weren't my true friends. I left my world to stop causing suffering and hatred, and then I met you girls. Someone touched Naruto's right hand covering his face as he fled, saying, It's time to take off your mask, Naruto. You have no excuse to keep your actual feelings hidden. It's time to show who you really are. A leader exhibits absolutely no signs of weakness or fear. Are you our leader, Naruto? Sama? As Rukia became irate with Hannibal, Hannibal told him, Naruto is our leader. He made us callous. Remember your place, Hannibal. He's not weak. Rukia glared at Hannibal. Women avoid conflict. Fighting between my lovely ladies is what I don't want. He declared, I will handle my problems in my own way because I am who I am. You're not alone, Naruto. Hannibal saw Naruto's pained expression and said, This is not helping Naruto. Sama never had true love. Hannibal grabbed the zipper of her black jacket and zipped it upward, causing Naruto's face to flush red. Hannibal, what are you doing? You helped me fight my darkness, at least let us help you. I am helping my leader give what he never had, was all Hannibal could say. Isn't that right, Rukia? Rukia nods after grinning. The music stops. I guess I can't talk you out of this, huh? Rukia leapt on Naruto while holding his hands down as he slowly stood back up. Ladies, there's no need to act this way. The girls shook their heads and said, Okay, but before that we might want to give them some orders. Naruto jerked his head to his left as the soldiers watched the two female heartless overpower their young king, and the girls saw the adorable little heartless shadows. Please leave the room, boys. Would you go assist Nell Chan in her mission to make friends with that Sora boy? As the callous nodded their heads and disappeared into the earth, Rukia spoke. Nervously, Naruto laughs, oh great, they left me. Rukia told Hannibal, strip him. When Rukia got off Naruto, his women were embarrassed and said, this is so not happening. Hannibal withdrew her sword and swiftly sliced off Naruto's dark clothing. As you wish, Rukia. Naruto covered his manhood. They informed him, it's happening. Crap, his perspiration fell. Why does Naruto feel so ashamed? Rukia asked him as she undressed, and Hannibal followed suit. Rukia's body was flawless, with long, sexy legs and lovely, round, big, cup breasts. Despite her heartlessness, her body had matured, giving her the appearance of a young adult rather than a teenager. Naruto's mouth drops, holy crap, he blushed as he spoke. Is Naruto Sama pleased with what he saw? Even for Naruto, seeing Hannibal's cup was mind-blowing. Her golden eyes, gorgeous body, and voice, along with the fact that she was his servant, were too much for him to handle. Hannibal asked Naruto while Rukia was gorgeous and sexy. Are you okay, Naruto? Sama? You're bleeding. Rukia laughed, don't worry. Hannibal Naruto just got a little too happy. Naruto was bleeding from the nose. Damn it, he is also a virgin. Hannibal and Rukia giggle, and Naruto murmurs to himself, shut up, it's not funny. Rukia grinned at her lover and kissed him on the lips, and Naruto relaxed on his back on the bed with Rukia completely nude on his stomach, giving him a passionate kiss while he felt Hannibal's touches, or rather, the touch of her breasts, on his lower body. As he and Rukia were making out, Hannibal took Naruto's penis into her wet mouth and gave him a tit job, feeling his penis throb inside her wet, hot mouth. Hannibal's breasts were incredibly soft and heavenly, and she bobbed her head to give Naruto pleasure. Rukia moaned in pleasure at Naruto's touch as he broke off their previous kiss and gave her a slow, gentle neck kiss to calm his queen. He then took her left breast and gently rubbed it while his thumb rubbed her nipple. As Rukia got off his stomach, he said, "Rukia, get up." From there, Naruto had a clear view of Rukia's pussy as she teased him by masturbating in front of him and then sitting on his face, licking and eating his queen pussy with his tongue. Rukia groaned, "Ah, Naruto, your tongue feels so good." Halibal pulled his penis out of her mouth, and Naruto cumshot on Halibal's breasts, making a loud pop sound. Rukia tastes so good and oh crap, I can't hold it, Halibal is going to me cum. Naruto thought to himself. Good thing I saw those sex ed classes. Rukia, who was a virgin and Naruto's first time taking his penis inside her pussy, got off Naruto and switched places with Halibal, who was now eating out by Naruto, while Halibal continued to stroke his penis with her breasts, milking it of all the sperm he had to give her. Halibal got off Naruto to allow Naruto to give Rukia some hard thrusting love, and she fingered herself as she watched Naruto pound Rukia on the edge of the bed. Rukia felt pain as he broke into her, resting her hand on his stomach as she started to ride her lover. Rukia loved every moment of this, feeling him throb inside her. Rukia wrapped her legs around Naruto's hips, refusing to let him go. The pleasure was overwhelming her and preventing her from thinking clearly. To Naruto's great surprise, Rukia dug her nails into his back. The phrase, "Naruto, I'm close, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming," was repeated repeatedly. Naruto groaned, "Same here, Rukia, I'm gonna come very soon." "Please, let it flow through me," she informed him. "Rukia." He called her name out loud. "Naruto." Rukia called out his name. Naruto deeply unloads his sperm inside Rukia, saying, "Ah!" Rukia shouted. Rukia looked into Naruto's eyes, and he could see love there too. Rukia rolled over, beaming broadly, after the two lovers shared a passionate kiss. Halibal asked Rukia, "How was it?" Rukia said, "Totally worth it, he might get a little rougher with you." Naruto couldn't believe he had just finished making love to Rukia and that his penis was now prepared for round 2 with Halibal. "What, I'm hard again? In sex ed they said an hour until the male get hard?" As she kissed him, Halibal said, "You're special, Naruto." Sama. Naruto was fortunate enough to have sex with 2 stunning older women while keeping Halibal close to him. Halibal spread her legs wide and rested her head on a pillow. Naruto, who was rather thick for a guy his age, shoved his penis inside her pussy as she ran away. Naruto smashes his penis inside Halibal, saying, "Oh man, she is way wetter than Rukia but not as tight as her, still they both are great." Halibal grabbed the bed's covers and let out a loud moan as she felt Naruto thrust harder and harder. Naruto elevates it to a new plane. With Halibal's legs draped over his shoulder, he pushed himself farther inside the female hollow, smashing it harder and deeper. "If he continues, he will make me come." Halibal repeatedly moans as Naruto pumps his cock into her at an increasingly rapid pace. "God, he's thick, oh god damn it." Naruto told her, "You're about to come, aren't ya, Halibal? Chan. Your pussy is getting tighter and can you hear the sound of my manhood inside you?" 5 seconds later, Halibal came hard as Naruto entered her pussy. After a few seconds, while they slept, Rukia and Halibal cuddled together with Naruto in the center. While pondering his new member, the red-haired boy, whoever he was, Naruto also wondered what had happened to the hollow Rukia had fought and if he was permanently gone. However, after mating with his females, the king needs to rest right now.
That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this great story. See you in the next one.